alone. The News4JAX I-Team did some digging, discovering 75% of students caught with guns were 16 or younger. This is from the fall of 2014 through the beginning of this year. Take a look at this chart. It shows the number of guns found in Duval County schools and the number of arrests. Comparing Duval to other counties in Northeast Florida, St. Johns County, 1 gun was found. Clay County, 3 guns were found. Let's talk about this with Jim Clark, a licensed clinical social worker and CEO of Daniel Kids. You know what, Jim? I'm not going to mince words here.
Yes.
This is a parental responsibility. The root of the problem is a lot of parents don't know what the kids are doing. They don't know who their kids are hanging out with.
Absolutely. When parents or when the station called, I said, the number one thing is, do parents know who their kids' friends are? Are they involved with their children? We know that a lot of children in our country that have been, research has shown that kids bring guns to schools, number one, because they have access to those guns, typically at home. The second is that they feel that there's some perceived threat. So parents can get involved with their children in a number of ways. Number one, help show them some comfort, make sure that they're asking you questions, make sure that you're talking about the questions. As you said, the number one thing is for parents to be involved. I mentioned to you earlier that parents also need to know that they have legal responsibility. In the state of Florida, not only if your child has access to a gun, you can be criminally charged along with having civil fines as well. So there are some, I hope, financial incentives for parents to say, I've got to make sure I know what's going on with my child.
But it should be more than that. I know you wrote a blog this morning, and it's interesting because this is one of the points I wanted to bring up. Parents want to be friendly with their kids. You're not your child's friend. Be a parent.
That's right. You have to be a parent. And as I indicated on my blog, one of the things you got to make sure that you know what your children are doing. You're monitoring their social media. I wrote, youngster, as long as you live under this house, I need to know what's going on. And there are limitations, and there is no privacy. So parents, as you say, you cannot be their friend, you've got to be their parent. Because if you're not going to be their parent, you're not going to attend their graduation, you may attend their sentencing or their funeral. So be involved with your child. Make sure they're involved in healthy activities. Make sure that they are engaged in other activities where they can find positive friends if indeed that's the environment that you're currently in.
And you kind of walk a fine line. Being the parent of 4 boys, I certainly know this, because you don't want to preach because they'll just tune it out. So how do you talk to your kids? And it's probably as simple with starting with facts.
Well, facts are very important, and again, having children understand the facts, they're going to hear things one way or another. So you as a parent want to make sure that you are there for the facts. You want to make sure that you can ask questions. When you ask questions, you create a brain process with any individual, child or otherwise. So it's important to ask questions because they start to think beyond just their immediate incident or whatever your particular
But it also makes them
situation.
part of the solution because they're involved with you in this discussion.
That's absolutely correct. But again, monitoring your children's behavior, make sure that you're there for comfort. Obviously, there's some anxiety that many children have because us adults have those same anxieties. Are our kids safe? So you got to engage in those conversations with them. But again, parents out there need to know, monitor your children's behavior. Again, be careful what kind of activities that they're engaged in.
Know your kids' friends.
Know your kids' friends. Monitor their TV. If they're younger children, yes, you do need to monitor their TV activity. And as I told you, I mentioned that all children, particularly boys, might want to play this with guns. Make sure if you're going to have a gun in your home or a toy gun, it looks like a toy gun. There was a research that shows that children will always gravitate toward a gun, even though parents say don't touch those guns. Make sure you lock those things up as well. So those are things that we all know. Common sense, engage with your children, make sure you know what they're doing, and involve them in healthy activities.
There you go, Mom and Dad, just open that door to conversation. This is, of course, a story we've been following. To learn more and watch our I-Team coverage of guns on campus, go to news4jax.com. You'll be able to watch this interview again. I'll post it on the morning show page about 10:30 this morning. Jim, always a pleasure. Good to have you here.